This is the most brutal week of Come Dine With Me ever.
I guess my age?
I would say 58.
Maybe he's a stripper, Rob.
Yeah, I'm not an overtly romantic kind of person.
That comes across.
Hello, you gorgeous donuts. Come Dine With Me is a British TV show in which 5 total strangers compete for the title of being the ultimate host at a dinner party. Each night of the week, they take it in turns to host a dinner party at their own home. They have to cook a 3-course meal themselves from scratch, and they also have to set up some entertainment for the guests. And at the end of each night, each contestant has to rate the host in terms of how good they were, with a score out of 10. And the person who achieves the highest score by the end of the week wins £1,000. What a concept! Now, because everybody is desperate to win the money, and the type of people that go on this show usually have huge egos, so they want to win just to be the best, this creates so much drama, and usually by the end of the week the contestants just end up hating each other. And in this video we're going to cover the most controversial week of Come Dine With Me ever. As each night progresses, the dynamic between these total strangers just gets more awkward and awkward as they end up disliking each other even more, which leads to somebody on the final night storming off the show. And this week of Come Dine With Me also includes the best guest ever on the show, so let's just get into it. So the week starts with us getting introduced to each of the contestants. We have Tina, Rob, Reese, Holly and Steve. This is what I love from a British TV show. Just some classic, like, hard-ass British names. Steve. Right, Steve's gonna knock up a naughty spag ball. None of these influencer names on here. We're first introduced to Tina, who will be hosting on the first night. And the show pre-warns us about how annoying her laugh is.
I'm known as the icebreaker because of my unique laugh.
Can you imagine being stuck in like a zombie apocalypse with her when you've got to be quiet? Oh my lord. She'd get you all killed, man. My nana's like this. She has a laugh exactly like that. However, I kind of like it because whenever I tell a joke and she laughs, everyone in the pub knows that I'm absolutely hilarious.
I thought somebody was playing like some kind of like horn or something. I thought it was a wind-up, like a tape or something.
I just know that by the end of the week, these other strangers are going to be sick of our Oh, I can't wait to see it. The contestants then turn up at Tina's home for her turn to host. And while she's preparing the starter, a couple of them go on a tour of her home to learn a little bit more about her.
There's a negligee.
My goodness.
Finding the negligee, I don't want to look at it in the eye. I mean, I don't want to turn around and see it.
All right, mate, right? It's not Medusa. It's not going to turn you hard. I mean, that's not the best phrasing, is it? You never know. Okay. Imagine going into a stranger's house, though, and, like, they have some sort of, like, lingerie like this on a mannequin. Genuinely, I'd be like, kind of slay queen. Am I right? Is that what the kids say? Kind of slay? I have no idea. Moving on.
Oh, my God. Look at this, Steve. Lady Tina Gale. I think that probably sums up Tina, actually. She's quite the lady.
That's from birth, right?
Oh, my God. How did she get that? Unless you just paid for it. I feel like people from this era, like, love getting called lady. Like, I always remember my nana would always say it was, like, if I ate with me mouth open, that the Queen would never invite us for tea. I was like, was she thinking about it anyway? Was the Queen knocking on the door being like, well, when Cam learns the appropriate dinner time rules, then we're going to invite him round for chicken nuggets and chips? I don't think so, Nana. Sorry, guys. She doesn't watch these anyway, it's fine. Meanwhile, Tina is finishing off the starter and she serves it to the other contestants. However, the guests aren't really a fan of our starter of crab.
It is quite nice.
Thank you.
Sorry. I don't think that's a compliment. It is quite nice. Like, there's instantly a butt coming after that.
I've never had anything like this before. I think, if I'm honest, I ate it because I was really hungry.
The cream sauce is
The people on this show are, like, so passive-aggressive. They're, like, so nice to the people's faces that as soon as they go off and do their private interviews, they're like, it was fucking shit.
The cream sauce is a bit overpowering.
Bit overpowering.
Taken away from the action.
It's so hard hearing somebody actually criticising your food, because obviously if your husband does it, you just bang him and go, well, I ain't cooking for you again. But obviously you can't do that to your guests.
Sorry, has anyone checked on Tina's husband lately? Has anyone checked if he's got a dint in his head? No wonder Tina's probably not improved as a chef, because her husband's scared stiff to say he doesn't like anything she cooks. Also, I love that the people that come on this show pretend to have such a, like, sophisticated palate. Like, genuinely, when I eat something, I can't tell what's overpowering. thing. I just know if it's nice or not. Steve and Holly then confront Tina about what they found upstairs earlier.
So, Tina, we had a little look around your boudoir earlier.
I'm glad you're not holding anything or wearing anything.
Can you imagine, like, her and her husband just having a little bit of, you know, me time in the bedroom? She comes in wearing that thing that was on the mannequin, and then she makes a joke, and then she just starts laughing like that. Genuinely. You'd have the neighbours calling the police thinking someone was getting strangled, for Christ's sake.
The most beautiful picture frame with a certificate that says Lord and Lady Gale.
Yes, unofficial, because my daughter bought it for my husband and myself.
Do ladies wear negligee? Like
Ladies can do whatever they want to, can't they?
All right, pop off, Queen. I've said that twice now. People are going to start suspecting things, aren't they? A lady can wear what she wants to wear, because she's a badass bitch. Thank you very much, Holly. You wouldn't understand. I'm in a funny mood today. At this point in the show, you can see the beef brewing between Tina and Reese, and I'm not talking about what's on the plate.
I was perhaps trying to maintain my focus, maybe on the food that was in front of me, rather than thinking about Tina in a negligee.
What's wrong with Tina in a little sexy corset? Or whatever that thing is called. I don't even know what that's called. What's wrong with that? Reese, the woman still got it. Nothing wrong with the older woman wearing a corset, thank you very much. Unless it's like one of my grandparents, then they can never wear that. That is what am I saying? Now later on in this video, as the nights progress, these two are about to kick off with each other, so stay tuned for that. Tina then has some pre-prepared questions. She asks the guest for a little bit of entertainment.
What might be the first laws that you might pass?
Ban clowns. All clowns.
Do you not like clowns?
I don't like clowns.
You'd be fucked then. Oh, God. That's everybody just clicked off this video. If this was Take Me Out, you'd all be pressing your button now. It's fine. You can just roast us back in the comments. Who's the real clown, right? Normally, I've got a spot on my nose as well, so I'm basically got a red nose like one. If I could ban anything, I think I would ban Ibiza final bosses. Just them. I don't know how we'd ban them. Like, Thanos just clicks and they're all gone. Meal preps everywhere are just vanished into thin air.
You can't ban some geezer or woman that dresses up, puts a load of like makeup on their face. Why would you ban so like? There's loads of other things you can ban before a clown.
To be fair, I'm kind of in the boat of banning clowns. Clowns kind of freak me out. Like, I just don't understand the kind of pipeline of why you'd become a clown. Like, how does somebody one day just go, fuck it, I'm just going to be a clown? It scares us. Okay, I feel like every single clown is John Wayne Gacy or like the Joker. Tina then asks the guests if they can guess her age. And you can see she clearly gets offended at the answers.
Can you guess my age?
Oh no!
21. Stop flirting. Stop it, Cam. Stop flirting, honestly. What am I like?
Late 40s.
Oh, bless you. That's kind. Or is it, Steve?
Did you see Steve's face? He was like, you absolute bullshitter.
I would say you're 58.
I can't do this whole video. She's going to be laughing like that. I just can't do it. It sounds like I'm at the beach and I'm getting attacked by a horde of seagulls.
58. That did not go down well. I had to make friends and influence people. Not like that.
Sorry. He gives us the vibes of like Gareth off the UK Office. If anyone's seen The Office, this man is just the living embodiment of that character.
I think you're 63. My mum is late 50s. I personally think she looks a bit younger than you.
Why has Holly got like a little bit of beef with Tina? It's almost like she's competing with her. What's going on here, Holly? What happened to woman empowerment? Women working together for the greater good.
You were actually spot on.
Spot on!
Yeah.
What is it? What did you say?
52.
I do think she looks 63. Maybe it's because she's a bit weathered.
Holly, you little bitch. Weathered? What does that mean? Yeah, she looks like she's been through a few day after tomorrows. What does weathered mean, love? Holly keeps doing jabs towards Tina, and I feel like later in this week, this is gonna come back to haunt her. Tina's gonna blow up eventually. Tina then moves on to her main course, and she's basically cheating because she's not making anything from scratch. Everything's basically out of a packet.
These pita breads, I've made them, but I don't know, they actually smell like pancakes. I have actually got some flatbreads in, just in the case that something went wrong.
To be fair, I don't really knock her for this. She's kind of a queen for it because I'd probably do the same thing. You think I'm making a pita bread from scratch? Seriously, you think I'm doing that for you? I don't even know you. I don't even do that for the people I love. Why am I going to do it for you, Reese? Fucking Reese. Also, I used to cook Reese Reese, I used to cook Reese from scratch. I used to cook rice from scratch, and it used to take like 20 minutes. The moment I discovered, like, instant heat up rice, oh my God. Are you kidding? My life changed. The trajectory of my life changed when I discovered 2-minute microwavable rice. Poof! Reaching for the stars I am now. Tina then serves her chicken red Thai curry to the guests, and instantly she gets quizzed on how she made it, and she just straight away crumbles.
So, Tina, tell me how you made this.
The sauce I did actually have out of a jar again, purely because of...
Even the sauce! We didn't know the sauce bit! It's hard to have your back, Tina, when you're not even telling her the whole truth.
I keep saying about my leg, but obviously being on your leg for that length of time. And so it's just that literal little bit of sauce that I just popped in, but everything else was just all homemade.
That's such a good excuse. Yeah, I couldn't make the curry sauce because my leg. I would have been a pro footballer, but this bloody leg, honestly, just kept us out, it did. But surely if you win the competition, like, it's not down to you then. Surely you've got to give the prize money to, like, Paddocks or, like, an Indian company that makes the sauces. The stocks of Sherwood is going to be sky high after this.
I can understand Tina having problems with her ankle, gives her some limitations, but I don't think that stops you standing there and making your own red Thai curry paste.
You just don't get it though, do you? You don't know the pain she's in. How do you expect her to marinate some masala with some onions if her ankle's not there? Honestly, God, these guys don't understand the struggle that we have, Tina. Now, obviously, Tina says everything else is homemade, but then she gets quizzed on how she made the rice.
And the jasmine rice?
How is it jasmine rice as opposed to just rice?
A girl called Jasmine delivered it, so 1-0, Tina. Unlucky, Reese, you've got egg on your face now.
You've added something to it.
No.
So it's just...
It's just, yeah,
It's jasmine rice.
jasmine rice.
This is like a sitcom, it's too good. So you've not added anything into it? No, so it's just rice. Yeah, it's just rice. That is too good. I love Tina. At least she's not, like, trying to keep up the lie. As soon as she gets confronted by it, she just crumbles. Then it gets even worse as she's then confronted about how she made the flatbreads.
So what about the bread, Tina? Did you make the flatbreads?
From scratch today, made my own flatbreads.
Did you?
However, I just felt they were not up to scratch to serve you, and I'd rather serve you something that was edible.
Yeah, I actually did it for you. I put those flatbreads in the microwave for your benefit. So what have you got to say about that? Oh, did you want to be poisoned, did you? I've just saved your life, actually. So that better bump us up a few scores. You can tell that most of the guests are pretty unhappy that Tina has half-arsed this.
I know Tina's not been to Thailand, and I don't expect that of everybody, even though I've travelled quite extensively. But to have some of the ingredients in that curry, like slices of courgette and sugar snap peas, it just didn't work at all.
I want to know where he's travelled to. I guarantee it's like, what, Benidorm? Zante? When he was younger, right? Getting on it with the lads. Tina then serves her dessert, and this is the first meal that all of the guests actually enjoy. The contestants then all go home, and in the taxi ride home, they then rate how good Tina's hosting skills and food was.
I'm going to score Tina a 6.
I'm going to score Tina a
6!
Tonight, I'm going to score Tina a 6.
I'm going to give Tina a 8! So Tina won't be long.
26! That came out of her jaw, for Christ's sake. Bumping up a little bit, that was Sherwood's, the good stuff. Not Tesco own brand, not Aldi's own brand, the proper brand. God, these people really don't appreciate culture, do they, guys, honestly? I feel like 26 isn't the highest score for the other ones to beat, but hopefully Tina can kind of get the highest score and win this thing by the end. I'm rooting for her. It's now the second night and Rob's turn to host. And to kick it off, Tina and Reese have went upstairs in Rob's house to learn a little bit more about him. I love how they just give them free roam of their house. It's absolutely wild. Like, what happens if they actually found something horrific up there? Imagine a killer was on here and they just found a dead body. Why did my head go straight to that? I mean, if you killed someone, you probably wouldn't apply for, to go and come down with me and invite strangers into your home. Unless you were mental. Anyway.
Oh, has he drawn me? It looks like he does.
I need like a trigger warning when she's gonna laugh. I love it, but also kind of just... the more you hear it, the more it just rubs you a little bit the wrong way. It makes her though, bless her.
He does look like me, doesn't it?
No, it's Bob Dylan.
I don't think that looks like her at all. Like, how does that look like... genuinely, that looks nothing like her, in my opinion.
I really thought he'd come back last night and actually sketched me.
She has such main character energy. Did she really think that after a night of hosting, Rob would be like, God, she's just so fucking gorgeous. I can't wait to get get home and just sketch the shit out of her. If anything, that would be really creepy. I'm sorry, but if someone went home and then made a sketch of it, I would just be like, yo, this is like stalker level. Who is this? Fiona Harvey. Rob then serves his starter, which is basically just a little slice of pizza on a plate with nothing else. It's a little bit like party food you get at like a kid's birthday.
Rolled pizza. Bit of salad with that? No. Garnish? No, we can't be bothered.
It looks so sad. Like, if this was at, like a tapas place where you get, plenty of plates and then you just eat them as they come, I'd be like, you know what? This is kind of cool. But this is the entire starter. So I'm going to have to get a Big Mac on the way home at this rate.
It's really nice. Tasty. I would have liked a bigger portion as well.
That's what she said.
Just going to clarify.
Did somebody just say that's what she said? Sorry, if you slept with someone and they went, actually, I would have preferred, a bigger portion if possible. Genuinely, like, that's enough to just make me never leave the house again. I've just recovered from the last time somebody said it to us.
It was tasty, but small.
That's what... No, we're not gonna say that. Tina then confronts Rob about him possibly drawing a sketch of her after he returned home last night.
While you were preparing the starter, we had a little nosy around your gaff.
The interesting thing was, I actually almost found a self-portrait in there.
Are you referencing my picture of Dylan?
Come on, guys.
Oh my God, she's brought her with her. Why is she obsessed with trying to make out that he's went home and drawn a picture of her? Love, this picture is not you. Why does she keep bringing it up?
I can't even see it.
Come on, Holly.
Tina, have you had your eyes tested recently?
To be fair, like, I saw this picture on the internet and I was like, oh my God, this looks exactly like me. I'm gonna let editor Justin put a photo on screen right now, so whatever photo he picks, just know I had nothing to do with it. Rob then decides as his evening entertainment, he's gonna teach the rest of the contestants some Cockney slang, and you can tell that Reese is getting really wound up by Tina's voice at this point.
I've got to remember for my night, Tina on the other side, because I think at the moment we've got tinnitus.
Tina there is.
No, the joke is tinnitus.
No, you've got Tina there is.
I feel like Tina is me in any social situation. Just not picking up on social cues and like making a joke about something that was mentioned in the conversation like ages ago. That's like something I do. He was basically saying like, look, your laugh's like great, and I was like, I'm going to go deaf here. And then she said, what, he's got tea in his ears? Is that what you said?
No, you've got Tina in your ears.
You've got tea in your ears or tea in your ears. Either one doesn't really make sense. But she's absolutely puckled. Oh my God, she is my favourite person ever. Now, everything is fun and games at the minute, but you're going to see later in this video how it turns really sour between all of the contestants. Because a couple of things happen that will shock you. Rob then makes the guests try and draw each other, and you can tell that Tina is getting a lot of, like, a brunt of the jokes.
Are you ready, Reese?
Yeah.
My reasoning behind this was a big throbbing ear being sat next to Tina.
I feel a bit sorry for Tina because she's always quite nice to people. Yeah, they're all kind of taking the piss out of her. Like, it's almost like she's laughing along, but they're laughing at her, not with her.
Her gobbing off constantly in his ear all night and screaming and shouting. Poor man, it must be agony.
Holly, right? Holly, can we and you have a conversation, right? Everyone else, just, right, put your thing like that, right? Okay, just me and Holly left in the room here. Be nice to our Tina, okay? I'm sick of this. Right? Respect her. She's a lady, for Christ's sake. She's got pearls round her neck. That says enough. That woman deserves your respect.
Is that a lighthouse?
That's a lighthouse. There's a ship going the other way.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. My laugh, the perception, and the ship going away, and the old foghorn going.
One thing you can say about Tina is she can take a joke, like they're very clearly taking the piss out of her here, yet she's just like going along with it. Although later in this video she does snap. The contestants then go home, and in the taxi ride home they all collectively overall vote Rob's night a 29 out of 40, which means he's already knocked out Tina from winning the grand prize. Oh, I tell you what, I'd rather have an Indian out of a jaw than that little bit of pizza on a plate. These people know nothing. Their palates are awful. Man, I'm telling you, that was Sherwood's jaw, the best stuff. But will this score be enough for Rob to win it at the end? We'll have to wait and see. Because next up, it is Reese's turn. Now, can Reese beat a score of 29? One thing I will say about Reese throughout this week, he's really bigged up his own cooking. He's talked about his palate. He's talked about how he's well-travelled. He constantly is put down other people's meals. So he has to smash this, otherwise he's going to look like such an arse. However, before he serves them any food in true Come Dine With Me fashion, two of the guests go into his bedroom to discover what he does for a job.
Oh my goodness.
Check this out.
He's a stripper, Rob.
I think you may be right with the stripper thing.
Why would you instantly think he's a stripper? Because he's got literally like a pilot's uniform, and your first thought is, that's it. He's in the dream, boys. You just think he knows Channing Tatum. You will have to ask him. I mean, he has got both the windows open, so clearly a lot of hot stuff has been happening in this bedroom. I always think, by the way, with Come Down With Me, where are the people's partners or families during this? Like, are they made to just stay out the house, or are they, like, hiding in a separate room? You never see them, ever.
Sausage and scallops are plonked on top and it's ready.
Oh my god, this actually looks quite good. Well, quite good. It just looks posh. If somebody put this in front of me in a restaurant, I'd be like, oh, like I feel like I've got to put like a napkin like on me pants here. I feel like this is this type of place. It's the type of place that you feel bad if you eat the food straight away. You've got to try and like chill out a little bit, because whenever I go to a restaurant, it's almost like someone's going to steal the food from me. I just eat it as quick as possible, and I don't even know why. I eat it, and then everyone else is still eating, and I'm like, why'd I do that? I've just got a bad tummy. Now I kind of need to go to the toilet. Why have I ruined it for everyone? However, the guests aren't too impressed with Reese's scallops and sausage starter. Tina tells him it's nice to his face, but says something different in private.
The flavours are absolutely perfect. Well done. It's absolutely lovely. Scallops for me were slightly overcooked, a little bit stringy, so I think they could have come out of the pan a little bit sooner.
Get in, Tina! Starting to get our own back. Be toxic back. Kill them with kindness, kill them with toxicity. It's the only way, love. You must have learned that over the years. To be fair, I think that as long as Reese beats Tina's score, then he'll be happy. If this man is a pilot, he will be earning so much money that the £1,000 probably isn't a lot to him. I think he'll just want this for his ego.
I don't think Reese had seasoned them.
It was alright. I don't know if I'd have it again.
Well, TripAdvisor's getting an earful tonight. These are not good reviews. I just love Come Down With Me because the beef is so subtle and unserious. Like, people will be so nice to each other's faces and then in private just backstab each other because they've all kind of slated his food. Yet Reese thinks this is going like perfectly.
Starter has gone down really well with everyone, and now time to move on to the main course and continue the upward trend.
It's like, brother, this is not going well. Reese then serves his main course of pork stuffing, but he doesn't actually give anyone stuffing.
I'm not the biggest fan of pork, and I don't think I had any stuffing in mine.
So I'm really sorry you didn't get any of the stuffing. I could go and get you some.
Could you get me some?
You'll get the stuffing later, Steve. Sorry, what? Oh, none of that. None of that. You don't get higher marks for taking it back to the bedroom. Okay, Reese? Calm down. We'll get one bit of pork in them, and then the head just goes loose. Just goes to the head, the pork does, right? The blood goes straight to the penis. They then play a game where they mimic themselves being stranded at sea, and there's only 4 seats on the raft available. So they need to pick somebody that they're going to leave behind on the sinking ship. And Rob instantly pisses Holly off, and this is where we start to see other contestants getting under each other's skin.
I would probably leave Holly.
Are you serious?
Like, if we're like proper out in the middle of the ocean, it's going to be ages before we get to land. She'd do my nuts.
I can't say that.
Oh my god, she did not like that. She genuinely did not like that.
Earlier in the week, Holly was the one that was giving it all large and putting it out there. And tonight, she's getting a taste of her own medicine.
You're right, Tina. Okay, if they can't take it, don't bother giving it. Look how the tide's turned, love. And you're not coming on the raft with me. Just quickly, guys, I want to stop this video to say if you haven't already, please do press the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 500,000 subscribers on this channel, which would be absolutely mental, have that many donuts together in one community. So if you want videos to binge watch like this when you're bored, click the subscribe button and you'll join the best community on the internet, the donuts. They then talk about who they would have to eat first, and for some reason, Rob just keeps going at Holly.
He's only keeping you.
All right, Rob, less of that.
A bit of timber.
Rob, do we need to have a little chat, mate?
That wasn't very nice, Rob. Wow, I guess someone's robbed all your kindness. Bloody hell. He's just called her fat. For no reason. Just went, oh, he's only keeping you because there's a lot to eat. Like, why would you say that to someone? Especially to someone you've only known for 2 nights.
I thought we'd got on really well and had a bit of a laugh throughout the week. So for him to say that was a bit of a shock.
Obviously, like, they've had a little bit of banter so far in this show, but I feel like that's, like, quite nasty. Like, she'll probably take that with her when she, like, finishes the show, and, like, she'll be a bit more self-conscious than she might have been prior to coming on here. I don't know why I said that, because it wasn't funny. I think it's a running trend with these contestants, is they really, like, pick up on each other's insecurities. Like, Tina has said that she doesn't really like the people that she's eaten with, and now we're seeing Holly saying the same thing. And it's at this point you can tell the entire vibe of this week changes as the contestants basically are well on the way to disliking each other. Even Reese says that there's such a weird vibe at the table. Rob then tries to save himself in an interview with the camera by saying it wasn't him who called Holly fat.
After I'd like mentioned the fact of throwing her off the boat, maybe Reese had mentioned the fact that she might have been carrying a bit of timber.
That was you! You said she was carrying timber! You said the only reason Reese's keeping her alive is because there's more of her to eat! Bullshitter! No meals for camp for you, Rob. Just rice and beans, or sausage and scallops. It's just so awkward because at this point of the night, nobody is talking to each other.
Oh, it's a bit awkward.
Oh, this is my idea of hell. Just put me in a room with other people when no one's speaking. Genuinely, like, I'd rather just top myself. Somehow Reese manages to bring the vibe back up when his evening entertainment is them all mimicking his job of being a pilot.
Bumpy runway, everybody, bumpy runway. Oh, another airplane, dive, dive, dive. Oh.
Can you imagine just explaining this show to aliens? Like, genuinely, they just think we're mental. They'd probably just leave and be like, you know what, we can't save these are gone. I don't know if this is genius, or the stupidest thing ever, or maybe it's a little bit of both. Like, what is this? Tina's bloody got a cast on, for Christ's sake. She's not going to be much use flying a plane. To be fair, I don't think planes have accelerators, do they? So maybe that doesn't actually matter, does it? Reese then serves his dessert, and Tina manages to get one last jab in of the night towards him.
The meringue's really, really lovely, but a tad chewy. This is the texture you were aiming for. Oh, well, that's absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
It's a little bit chewy. Is that what you wanted? Yeah. Oh, well, then you've achieved it, haven't you? Right? Personally, I wouldn't have it chewy, but if that's what you were after, then it's perfect. That's such a backhanded compliment. Now, Reese has actually made the same dessert that Tina made on the first night when she was hosting, and Holly says that the one that Reese has made is so much better, and this creates such a passive-aggressive exchange on the table.
This is a winning pavlova. I much prefer it to the marshmallow type one.
That's okay, but mine was an actual individual pavlova. Did you not notice? You didn't notice that, did you?
As opposed to...
Yeah, you would notice that, would you, Holly? Because there's... Oh, yeah, why is it again? Because you're a twat! Twats don't notice that, Holly. Too much thinking about when they're going to be a twat again.
Mine was really high, and I just, like, built it up like a little castle.
Is that because yours had collapsed in the middle?
No.
This is such a British argument. Like, it's so British. Like, they're being really mean to each other, but in a really polite way. They're basically calling each other terrible, but just kind of framing it in a way where they're actually being nice. The contestants in their taxi ride home then collectively decide to vote Reese. A 28 out of 40, which means that Rob is still in the lead going into the fourth night. Is Rob actually going to get this? I'm unsure. It's now Holly's turn to host. Can she beat the score of 29 from Rob? I don't even know who I want to win at this point. Not Holly, because she's been mean to Tina. However, because Rob called her fat, she will be desperate to beat him. One thing I will say about Holly's house is she definitely has the weirdest kind of things going on inside there when the contestants tour it.
3 wedding pictures.
That's interesting.
They are interesting. It's a different wedding dress
Oh.
to that one. That's a different wedding.
Oh my god, do people do that? Is anyone watching been married more than once to the same person? Is that a thing? I know people like renew their vows, but I didn't know people actually like remarry the same. That's the first time I've ever heard of that. Imagine being their mates, getting the call that you're gonna have to be best man for the third time to the same wedding. How are you meant to give the speech again? Also, like, how many rings are you gonna have? You're gonna be like Frodo out of Lord of the Rings, for Christ's sake. You're gonna have to get married in Isengard's with the Hobbit soon. And if you thought that was weird, I feel like the sitting room is even stranger.
Is that the hostess?
Do you know what? I reckon the photographer come round early because Holly didn't have a chance to get on possibly underwear. Why would you do that? Think, you know what? I need a photograph of myself.
I mean, self-love's the best love, but that's a little much in my opinion. Imagine going round like someone's gaff for the first time and then they've just got this on the wall. I don't know what I'd think. I'd just feel a little bit awkward. I'd be like, is that that's... Like, if I look at it, am I being weird? But then you've put it on the wall for people to look at. Also, is it like an art gallery where I've got to look at it for like a couple of minutes and just really take everything in? Or do I just kind of glance at it and go, this just makes everything like 10 times more awkward of meeting someone for the first time. I need to do this, actually. I should just start putting like me selfies up in me house. Like, that would be like, self-love's the best love, guys, right? I'm going to write that down, okay? I'm going to get on Vistaprint tonight. Not a sponsor. Although if they do want to work with this, right? Send some money my way. Holly then serves her starter and it's causing mixed emotions. I would say that looks like the best starter that's been cooked yet. Just simply because there's like loads of food on it, whereas we've been kind of starved in previous nights.
I'm not a big fan of smooth pate. I quite like a coarse pate.
Oh, really? 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 Well, you can fuck off then. That's what I'd say. Someone was like, ooh, I didn't really like the texture of this patty. Do you know? Well, you know where the door is then, don't you, Reese? The pavement's rough. You'll probably like that.
I'm getting a really strong flavour of brown sauce coming through.
I think that she's just trying to get me back for Monday because I was quite critical of her food. I mean,
she's allowed to criticise your food if you criticised her food. Like, you've got to take this criticism on board if you're giving other people criticism. You can't just say, oh, it's because she doesn't like you. Because then how are you ever going to improve as a chef, love? If that's your constant, like, kind of throwback. Also, if I'm Holly, I'm definitely, like, you know, just spitting in Rob's food after he called us fat. Are you joking? Or just, like, fingering it. Just saying, hey, fucking go. Hey, fucking go on then, Rob. Never seen it.
I mean, at least my food didn't come out of a jar.
Tina and I were...
You leave Sherwood's out of this, love. She did it out of a jar for your benefit. Okay, we've already established this. She didn't want to poison you or give you something inedible. Inedible. That's hard to say in a Geordie accent. Holly then reveals why she has so many weddings.
I have been married 3 times. And every single time to the same man, my husband. And I see us getting married more and more times as well.
Is there a degree of insecurity there that you have to keep having more and more weddings?
Oh.
Reese is a little bit of an arse. I like him because he's perfect for the show, but he constantly likes to put people down subtly. Is that a little bit of insecurity there? Is it? Do you not love yourself, right? You're trying to fill a gaping hole you've got, are you? Do you keep getting married because Rob said that he'd leave you on the sinking ship? Yeah. Also, if you get married 3 times to the same person, does that mean you've got to get divorced 3 times? I have no idea what the rules are here. Also, imagine you married someone 3 times and then they cheated on you. Like, oh my God. Like, what more can I do? But also, if she wants to get married 3 times, that's her business. And like, if she's happy doing so, then it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. She's not really hurting anyone doing this. Now, as we've previously saw in this video, Tina has took a lot of jabs throughout this week. People have constantly been making jokes at her expense where she hasn't really been involved in the jokes. And I feel like tonight, she's finally hit her boiling point.
Flew me to New York for my 50th birthday. I knew nothing about it. It made arrangements with my work and colleagues and things like that.
Did he go with you?
That's a really horrible thing to say.
Light-hearted banter.
It's not, Reese. Just because you take many a flight, it doesn't mean that others do.
Oh no, it's starting. It's starting. The end game is nigh, guys. I think it's because even when she's being serious and she's trying to like open up about her life, they still just take the absolute piss out of her. Now, I know that's very much the culture of Britain. Like, I do it, you probably do it. But no one's ever treated Tina seriously throughout this entire week. And I think she's just had enough. Tina then starts to fire back at Reese even more.
So, Reese, what's your most romantic story?
Yeah, I'm not an overtly romantic kind of person.
That comes across.
Why?
I don't know, your body language.
Gonna see these are Misfits boxing soon, aren't we? The over 40s category. It's gonna come in hot. Yeah, I can tell you're not the most romantic person. You know, it's hard for pricks to be romantic, isn't it? You know, you never see a cactus being romantic, do you?
Probably because he's not married to you, Tina.
You're talking about romantic gestures between me and my
but-
wife, and the fact that I'm not making eye contact with you, it means that I'm not romantic.
Oh, it's so awkward. Again, like Tina, just whenever she tries to like insult someone, it just falls flat because it's just not in her personality to do it. But you can tell that no one's really on Tina's side, and they're kind of like, it seems like everyone's wound up by her for some reason. Maybe it's because because, like, of a personality clash. But whenever jokes are made towards her, nobody ever backs her up. Everyone always just joins in, but if she goes back at someone else, they kind of, like, crowd round the person she's attacking. Rob even says to the camera that each night that they're having food, Tina and Reese's tension is just ruining it. You're ruining it!
Reese just doesn't seem to have that eye contact with me, doesn't seem to want to engage with me.
You know, when you look at someone's eyes, you can tell if they just want to rip your clothes off and just, And, you know, Reese really doesn't give us that vibe, unfortunately.
Tina is really starting to grate now. Just the little quips sometimes that she's coming out with, little digs, and it's really starting to get on my pitch.
It's so funny. Because if this was Americans, they'd be like, hey, man, you're a melon, man. I can't be doing with your quips anymore, man. Whereas with Britain, it's just so subtle. It's like, yeah, you know, she is grating on me very heavily. You know, I look at the knife sometimes, I'm thinking, oh, Reese, calm down. But I could do it. I really could do
I
it.
think Tina has probably got on Reese's wick a bit. He's probably just had enough of her.
Like, again, why does no one ever say, like, oh, people are getting on Tina's nerves? They very much know that they're not going to be friends with Tina afterwards, whereas I feel like the other contestants might meet up or, like, have a drink sometime. I feel a little bit sorry for Tina is what I'm trying to say. I just think whether that's because of her age or her personality, she's just a bit of an outsider compared to the other ones. Holly then serves our main course, and in my opinion, I think it looks banging.
Dauphinoise are dolloped.
There's no short measures in this.
Oh! Sorry. Look how nice that looks. Also, this particular clip on YouTube is unlisted. I wonder if it was too hot for TV because that fish looks absolutely banging, it does. I would scran that in like 2 minutes, honestly. One thing I do want to make a note of is Rob is possibly like the sweetest person when it comes to people's foods. Like, he hardly ever criticises people's foods. I feel like he's just happy to be here. Like, he's not bothered about winning. He's just like happy he's having a bit of a day out. All of the guests then say that Holly's main course is unbelievable. And then Rob and Reese bring up the photo in the lounge of Holly being semi-naked.
Holly, is it fair to say that photography or perhaps modelling is one of your hobbies?
So the picture that you guys saw in the front room, I had it done for a complete surprise for my husband for his birthday a few years ago.
Wait, is that a good present? Is that like... How would you feel if, you know, on your birthday, your partner had just got a canvas of themselves for you? I can't tell if that's a good present or just like serious main character syndrome. Or maybe it's a little bit of both. I'd just be like, oh, all right, thanks. But, you know, socks would have sufficed. But, you know, I'll take this. You know, if you got a photo of maybe it's both of you, or you arranged to have like a fun photo shoot and then you paid for the photos to be on a canvas after, I feel like that would have been a cool idea. But just you, just posing, in my opinion, that's a little bit odd.
When your kids bring their friends home from school.
I don't think it's that obvious that it's me.
Oh, genuinely, like, if she has little boys and, you know, they're bringing their friends round, they're going to be like, wow, your mum is a MILF. Is that your mum? MILF. Absolute MILF.
I'm not being funny. I felt a bit awkward. Granted, we've met her for a few days, but we're not still in the stranger zone.
Yeah, genuinely, I agree with Rob on that. I think it's like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is just really awkward. Like, why is that the only canvas here? There's just no photos of like our family. It's literally just her in the lounge. Holly then serves the dessert and everyone loves it again. And at this point, she looks like she's going to be a strong favourite to win this thing before the voting is made. She then ends the night by asking the contestants to do impressions of each other. And I can't believe how awkward it is.
Question of Reese?
Canada 3 times, New York 1,000 times. I went to Australia and I flew over there.
Oh, look at his face. I mean, you've took the piss out of her. You've got to take it, fella. You can't, like, get angry now.
People are asking me where I've been.
I know, I was just...
Oh, Reese, man! What are you doing? Why are you biting? Yeah, people have asked us where I've been, so that's why. Shut up! Shut your little mouth. I like it that Tina's kind of getting her own back here because she's took so much crap.
Your turn, Reese. Make it a good one.
And there might be something I might be able to put my finger on.
I can't do it, man. I can't. I'm gone. Sorry, I tried. Right. This shit, too awkward for me. I want to die inside. Oh my lord. They need to brighten the mood a bit. Like, Christ, they could genuinely kill a human and put him in the middle of the table and it would brighten the mood a little bit. Oh God. Someone bring up the self-portrait again, please. This is so awkward because Tina and Reese clearly despise each other, and there's still one more night to go. Oh no, I just know this last night is going to be drastic. Despite the awkwardness, the contestants then overall collectively vote Holly's night a 30, which puts her in the driving seat going into the last night. And the last night will be hosted by Steve. Can Steve topple Holly? Please, Steve, I am begging. Steve's like went under the radar, like he's kind of had loads of funny comments. He's a little bit like a silent assassin. Like he kind of just makes little quiet kind of jokes that are quite funny about people, but he's not too nasty, so I'd like to see him win over Holly. Let's see if he can do it. Now I'm going to pre-warn you, somehow this is the most dramatic night of the entire week. At this point, Reese and Tina aren't even hiding that they hate each other, and they're being egged on by the other people at the dinner table.
Reese, I noticed you sneak into the room here and put something underneath this runner. What was this for?
In the event of tinnitus, take the plugs, insert them into your ears thus, and spend the rest of the evening in relative bliss.
The passive aggressiveness is off the charts here. He could cut the tension with a knife, and I'm not even talking a steak knife, I'm talking a butter knife. It's the fact he gave everyone them apart from Tina. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, Tina isn't involved in the jokes anymore. She was never involved in the jokes from the start, to be fair. This is why I love Come Dine With Me as well, because the beef is kind of just so unserious. Like, it's not really dramatic or anything. It's just passive aggressive to the highest scale. Oh, God, this is just going to get worse and worse, isn't it?
Can I just say,
Of course you can.
when you're sat in front of Reese, things aren't funny anyway, so I wouldn't...
Oh! Boom! How'd you like those apples, Reese? Oh, you probably can't hear it because you've got something in your fucking ears, haven't you? Go on, Tina. This is like watching Drake battle rap all them rappers that were coming for him.
You are about as funny as my right foot.
How funny is your right foot?
Not as funny as your face, Reese.
This is... This is so good! This might be my favourite series ever. Oh my lord. Not as funny as your face. Are you joking? That is unreal. I'm gonna steal that. Sorry, if someone called my face funny, like, how do you not just burst out laughing? Also, on the topic of Tina's right foot being funny, that is the one that's in a cast, so I'd probably say that is probably the least funniest of her feet. Well, it depends how you take it, actually, unless casts really tickle you. Just dead vinegary, though, aren't they? Right, acidic? Oh, not for me. After this, they just end up just straight up insulting each other.
Around the world in 4 days with Reese.
And there's my curry.
It's genuinely like a sitcom. Like, both of them are having quality lines here. This is so good. It's like, you know, when you have Christmas dinner with, like, your extended family and there's clearly just some kind of beef there that's underlining that it hasn't been brought up yet and they're just starting to make jibes at each other. This is what it's like. I always remember at Christmas, me granddad and nana, like, they are together and they were both, like, partially deaf, and the jibes they would do at each other when the other one couldn't hear was so funny. Like, you'd have me granddad saying something under his breath and then me nana would be like, what's he just said? He's just said something about me, has he? You wouldn't say it to me face. Genuinely, like, the best times ever. Right, God. Granda, if you watch it, I appreciate those moments.
At least I didn't serve dry pork. No, I'm not moving on.
Sorry. You can't say that a curry was out of the jar and then she calls you pork dry and you go, it's a bit too far though, isn't it? Let's move on. Can't believe you'd bring me pork into this, right? That was the one thing I said don't ever bring up again. You've crossed the line now, Tina. I also love the passive aggressiveness of them still keeping the things in the rears. It's just perfect.
You've been blanking me all week. You never make eye contact and your body language is appalling.
Tina, I have to say, this is Steve's evening. You're being quite rude. Be courteous to your host.
Okay, let's just talk about this. Reese is very much putting on this good guy act, okay? And he is funny, right? He clearly has a little bit of charisma about him. But Tina, like, isn't just saying that his body language is bad towards her for no reason. Clearly, he's been, you know, not the friendliest with her from the start. Like, she's felt this way. And at this specific night, he was the one who brought up taking the piss out of her. So now that she's given you a little bit back, you can't then say, you're being disrespectful of the host. Like, she's well within her rights to fight back. And previously, I've said in this video, all of the people are always on Reese's side when Reese and Tina argue. And I think it's because he kind of tries to make sure they are by like making sure he like compliments them and making sure he's friends with everyone else so that they don't turn against him. I know I'm like overly deep in this, but it's just interesting to see the dynamics at play here. He's very much trying to make sure that Tina's isolated, and she basically is, because no one is backing her up at all in any of these situations.
The most perfect piece of pork she's ever had, and that's why she's left it.
That was really, really below the belt.
That was below the belt. Love, we're at the feet now. There's no lower we can get. I love how they both draw the line at pork jokes as well. Like, they can say anything about the person's appearance or how the person sounds. But as soon as pork's brought up, they're like, oh, I can't believe they've just said that, honestly. We're bringing pork into this. Why do they get so emotionally attached to pork? And it's at this point that Tina genuinely just has enough. Bro just slammed the door in someone else's house. Do you know the balls that takes? She is built different. She's from a different generation. You can see none of them really have any sympathy towards her. Like, Holly's just laughing. And I do feel kind of sad because I wish one of them like went out after her to make sure, you know, she's okay. Because clearly this is a person that's upset here and has had her back up the entire time.
As I saw Tina hobbling out the door, I thought it was a joke. Like, I literally couldn't believe it.
Why do you have to mention hobbling, Holly? Did you need to bring in hobbling? Holly just clearly despises Tina, but she just won't say it to her face.
Pithy, witty little one-liner, throwaway comment, no malice intended.
Actually, Reese, you got offended at a pork joke, so when you done a pork joke back, she's well within her rights to get offended equally. When we're bringing pork jokes into this is where we need to stop, guys. People's feelings are getting hurt. Tina then returns to the table, and the atmosphere is just so awkward.
Thank you.
Bit of an atmosphere, and you can hear they're giggling away in the other room now. I can't hear Tina, though.
I'm not going to let Reese ruin what a special evening, a special week it's been.
I actually think she's quite a nice person. I just think that she rubs people the wrong way, unfortunately. Now, you might be thinking this night must have been like a total write-off, right? Like, the only things we've watched is them just absolutely going for each other's throats. However, the food that Steve cooked was actually really nice, and I feel like there's a little bit of an element of the contestants feeling sorry for him, that they were like kind of disrespectful in his house, especially when Tina slammed his door. So Steve actually ended up getting the highest mark, and he won all the money. So Steve, well done, son. The person that says the fewest words is often the smartest person in the room, and that fact has ran true through this Come Dine With Me week. He just kind of came in at the end and like snatched all the glory. I love it. A true underdog story. Now, I tried to find some updates of these contestants just to see if they'd like done anything after the show aired, and the only thing I could find was a photo that they took after they'd finished filming, and I mean, they look kind of happy. I guess they look really happy. Like, Reese is holding Tina. So does that mean that they made up? Probably not. He probably dropped her. Right? I think if he could take her in his plane and drop her from about 5,000 feet, he would if he had the choice. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Genuinely, I had such a fun time doing this. If you want me to do another Come Down With Me episode, 5,000 likes on this video, and I'll cover an entire week for you again. And now, one thing I recommend you do is watch this video where I covered the cruelest episode of Wife Swap ever, because if you think the people in this video were cruel, you've seen nothing yet. Bye-bye, donuts.